We can at times be people who are picky and choosy about what Jesus has spoken and what we want to understand about what Jesus has spoken. The moral things that Jesus has spoken about. And that is why today we have not only a confused society, but we have a confused set of disciples. We ourselves are confused in our own communities. We are confused about marriage. When we have a worldly understanding of marriage, where today the understanding of marriage is not just, it's not this understanding of marriage between a man and a woman, but now we are trying to change definitions of marriage. And it is even amongst us Christians, where we cannot even understand the depth of the sin of abortion. There's so many things that we look at today as teachings, as moral teachings that the Lord taught, and we think maybe this is not meant for today. We brush it aside. Is it our small-mindedness? When Jesus spoke, he spoke of things of the above. And that is why John says he's above all. He came from above. He speaks of things that are connected to the above. He spoke about the kingdom and about how we get to the kingdom. Just because we are small-minded and we are not able to comprehend what Jesus is talking about, let us not brush it aside, but rather wait on the Lord in prayer and ask the Lord, Lord, correct me. Lord, teach me. Are you confused about certain teachings of Jesus? I'm not saying that we might be confused about everything that Jesus says, but there could be certain things that the Lord spoke that might be confusing today in our present environment, in our present situation. Maybe because we want to justify the actions that we are doing. But are you confused about anything that Jesus has spoken? Sit in prayer. Ask Jesus, Lord, teach me the things of the above. Teach me what you believed was important enough that in your 3 years here on earth, you thought it important to teach this to me, and that is why it is there in the scriptures. Lord, then teach me. Open my mind to what you are speaking. No wonder when Jesus spoke about the Eucharist, when they couldn't comprehend, what did they do? In John chapter 6 verse 66, they said, this teaching is too difficult. Who can accept it? And they walked away. But what did Peter say? Peter waited when Jesus asked Peter, are you going to leave as well? Peter waited and Peter said, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We will wait for you to reveal it to us. We will wait for you to help us understand it better. And that is why Jesus said, when the Spirit comes, he will teach you. When the Spirit comes, he will teach you everything that I have said. And that is exactly what happened to the disciples as well. Even though they didn't understand many things that Jesus said. Even when Peter said, you have the words of eternal life, and he hadn't understood everything that Jesus said. In time we read, even in Acts of the Apostles we read, them understanding what Jesus spoke better and better as the days went by. Why? Because they waited and they asked the Lord, Lord, reveal to us. Help us understand these things of the above. Can we be humble enough? Or are we like the Pharisees and the scribes who thought their intellectual brilliance was way above that of Jesus? Do we think that our intellectual brilliance and our intellectual achievements are way above what the Lord spoke of in the scriptures? If that is our thought, then we will always live in darkness. But if we can humble ourselves, then we will always thirst to be taught. That is when we will have eternal life, true life. And that is what John says, whoever believes in the Son has eternal life. That's mirroring exactly what God said. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will have eternal life. That is what Jesus said in John chapter 6 verse 47. He says, everyone, John 6 verse 47, Very truly I tell you, whoever believes has eternal life. John 5:24. John 5:24. Very truly I tell you, anyone who hears my words and believes him who sent me has eternal life. That comes only when we can humble ourselves and tell the Lord, Lord, teach me what I'm confused about. Enlighten me and make my mind be open from this small-mindedness that I have, so that I might know the truth and the truth might set me free. Let's close eyes from